And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. I am Josh Engleman, and I'm here to break down a 3-game NBA slate for you guys. I'm very happy it's just a 3-game slate because I am obviously easing my way back into this one because we haven't done a show in a minute. I assume you guys can hear me. Shout out if you can. It has been a minute, and honestly, my rhythm is off. My windows feel like they're in different spots. I don't remember how I normally start this show. It's gonna be a couple days before I get my sea legs back, but there's nowhere I would rather be right here for this show in particular. I've been looking forward to this one. Hate that it had to go away for a bit, but yet here we are. Good to know, loud and clear. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to see. Before we do anything, folks, hit that like button. Feels like a day where we can get a bunch of them. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. We have not done one of these in like 3 weeks. Feels weird, man. Feels weird. But it is good to be back. Thank you for all the kind words over the past couple weeks. They are appreciated more than you'll ever know. It's just really good to be back. I'll be honest, I have not paid very close attention to the NBA over the past couple weeks. If people are injured, we're going to learn about it on this show over the next 2 days. If people have been playing, rotational changes, I don't know any of it. It is all foreign to me. I played I don't even remember at this point, maybe the Christmas Day NFL slate, or the day before Christmas NFL slate, maybe. I didn't play much. I don't think that I played NBA at all. I didn't play Christmas Day, that's for sure. Yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. It was a long 2022. We'll get the preamble out of the way. I'll put a timestamp into the description of this video for when we actually get it started. But I've had you guys here every morning for the basketball season, both last year and this year, and it's kind of crazy how quick a year happened. For those that don't know, my mom passed the week before Christmas. It would have been very early morning, basically middle of the night, Saturday, the week before Christmas, 17th, I guess. She had pancreatic cancer, and she found out about that a couple days after Christmas last year. So right out of the gate, we knew she was going to be getting treatment at the beginning of the year. And that wasn't the only treatment that was going on at that time. My dad was also going through treatment. His cancer was back at that time. So starting off 2022, both parents were either about to start chemo, or my dad was starting a different localized treatment. He was getting these injections. So that's when you first started seeing me do some shows and do some everything from my childhood bedroom at my parents' house back up in Pennsylvania. So I started going up there in mid-January to go with them to appointments if they had them, treatments, whatever it was. It's kind of weird. I assume that I would be having this sort of conversation for my dad, not necessarily my mom. He was in really, really bad shape in February, ended up getting COVID while he was in the hospital. It was looking not ideal, that's for sure. Took a long time for him to get back from that. He was in a rehab facility for a couple months, which took a lot out of him, but got him to a point where he is, at least now, he is in remission. That actually happened. We assumed that when he was getting ultra sick and got COVID, that he was not responding to the treatments. Ultimately, he was, in fact, responding to the treatments, and he is currently in remission. For my mom, didn't work out quite as well as we would have liked. she ended up having all of these sort of blood infections. Not entirely sure why. So every time that she started and tried to have a treatment, she would be able to get, her chemo treatments were supposed to come in packs of 3. She'd be able to get 2 in a row, 1 week, a week off, another week, and then she would get an infection and she wouldn't be able to get that next treatment. So she'd be in the hospital for another week. We'd come back and we try it again, no luck. Come back, try it again, no luck. It would just be 2 on, infection, week of hospital, over and over and over again. That was kind of like what everything looked like for the first 6 months of the year, which was tough, whether it was flights back up to North Carolina or back up to PA, or just me driving up just to not have to spend money on flights every 2 weeks. It took a toll. I barely remember the beginning of the year, if I'm being honest. It was a grind. It was just, every day was basically like the same sort of disaster. But it was always nice to be able to do this show or do the strategy show or whatever show that I was on, just because, one, I enjoy working with the people that I work with, and kudos to everybody involved at Stokastic for the past 3 weeks. I am eternally indebted to everybody here for just taking over while I was gone. Nobody said anything to me. And I don't mean this in the negative way. I just mean, like, everybody understood that, like, I needed to be gone, and nobody was looking for me to be back or anything like that. There was no, like, hey, we're getting to be this amount of time. Nothing. Like, I couldn't have had a better support system in place for everybody at Stokastic. So thank you to every single person that rescheduled me and covered my shows and did whatever they could to try to help out, because it was the very tough time. As weird as it sounds, it was more difficult for probably the 2 weeks before it happened than it was for the past 2 weeks, just because it was not great near the end. Ultimately, we ended up, once her doctor realized that treatment wasn't really going to be all that helpful any longer, my mom and dad moved to North Carolina into my house with myself and my wife to just sort of live it out. They got here a little bit before Thanksgiving. Things were okay for most of that time. You guys put up with a pretty negative day. For everybody that was here and that remembers, there was a day where I had to get up multiple times during the show. And it was basically because my mom didn't totally know what she was doing. And at one point, she was coming down my hallway, about to go downstairs. She was not supposed to be taking those stairs without anybody. So I had to stop her there, have a bit of a conversation. She was ultra confused about who was even in the room with her, thinking my dad and my dad's nickname, which is Smokey, thinking they were 2 separate people, thinking there was a third person in the room. Very weird. So I finally got her downstairs. I got her to agree to sit on the couch and wait for me to finish up the show. After about 5 minutes, I heard a giant thump. She had fallen. Everything was okay from the fall, but she had fallen in the kitchen. Wasn't great. Sometime after that show, actually fell again heading out of the doorway. That time I was able to half catch her, but that one was a long one. That's when we started to realize that things were going downhill a little bit faster than we had expected. And then it basically just happened immediately. She had a rough night from a Friday into a Saturday, and spent most of Saturday asleep. And then the Sunday, 6 days before she passed, that Sunday, she was awake and downstairs watching football with us, and it was like a relatively normal day. And she had a really, really, really bad night that night. And that was sort of the end of everything. Her speech basically went away. She was able to get a couple hellos and highs out for the next 2 days. And then by Wednesday, we had realized that us taking care of her at the house was not going to be where we needed to be. So we contacted the care center. They came and got her that Wednesday night. She spent 3 nights there, and then that was it. It moved pretty quickly. When it's once the wheels came off, they kind of just were off. So that was December, which, like I said, the 2 weeks beforehand were just more difficult because everybody was just on edge, whether that was my wife, my dad, or me. But now, look, she's in a better place. No more pain, which I know she was in pretty aggressively for most of the year. But honestly, for the past month or two, I think it had to be unbearable. The amount of painkillers and things she was taking were just staggering. But it is good to finally be back. You know, these things happen. It's everybody in life will go through this sort of stuff, and inevitably, this is going to be happening to my dad, probably sooner rather than later. It's a man that had a kidney transplant in 1996, 2 rounds of cancer over the past 5 years, a broken leg in a pretty gnarly way a couple years back as well. So that one's coming too. But that's fine. You know, I got to spend a lot of extra time with him this year in comparison to what I normally have been able to do, which was nice. But you know, we all are going to experience this sort of stuff. It's not fun, but I hope that in the future, if it's ever happening to anybody else, I could, you know, lend an ear or shoulder or whatever anybody needs. I'm happy to be there for anybody, particularly for the crew that hangs out here every morning. It's been great to have you guys here. I've really been looking forward to this one. I can't even describe it, honestly. I love doing this show. It's been weird. I'm not going to lie. I'm so aggressively tired. It's not even funny. I got up a little earlier. I went to bed late, but I was obviously watching the NFL game last night, which ended in a horrifying fashion. So we'll see where that actually ends up. But after that, it wasn't easy to go to bed. So I was up a little bit later than I wanted to be. And then I got up a little bit earlier today just because I wasn't ready for this situation. I wasn't ready. Like, you get into a rhythm for doing this. And I've been doing this show for a couple of years now, even just getting back into the NBA season. You do the same thing every day. You kind of get used to it. Just like getting ready for everything here. I wasn't prepped for it. So I wanted to take that extra time. I actually got through most of it a little bit faster than I was expecting. But for now, I think we're ready to just get it started, folks. I appreciate you listening to my my opener here. I felt like I needed to give you guys the whole skinny on what's been going down for me for the past year, and in particular since this NBA season had started. You guys, everybody that reached out, all the, you know, even just a like of a tweet or a quick reply or whatever, it all meant a lot to me. I read every single one of them. It was nice to see that kind of stuff coming in because it was tough. It was really tough. But right now, we're back, and things are honestly as good as they could possibly be right now. Still got some worries about my dad. We took him back up to PA, and he is at home now, attempting to live a life that he's never lived before. My parents were married for 38 years. They had, you know, in theory been together for, I don't know, 40, 41, 42, something in that neighborhood. Basically his entire life, you know, from his very, very early 20s up into, you know, his mid 60s at this point in time. So he is in the process of adjusting to a life that my mom controlled. And I don't mean controlled in a negative way, but like, she just handled shit. My mom worked. She worked in an office. Kudos to everybody she worked with, by the way. Those people deserve medals. They could not have treated her better. They sort of let her just like fake work for a bit, which was really helpful to her mindset because she didn't want to give it up. But I mean, she handled everything at the house. She was the generally the cooker, the cleaner, the bill manager, and my dad just worked. And then he got to a point where he couldn't do that any longer after he broke his leg in the second round of cancer and stuff. So he's sort of been searching for something to do for a while now. And helping him find that will be the bigger challenge now. But for right now, at least in terms of my family, everybody's healthy. And we're looking to hit 2023 in a positive manner in comparison to 2022, where we rolled in 2022 thinking that everything sucked. So let's start it off. Let's get it going. I have had this coffee sitting here for an hour and 45 minutes now. And I desperately want to take a sip of this. So if you've got a coffee, I hope you do. If you don't, that's fine. Tea, water would be good. Let's just go ahead and say that we don't want beers this morning. If you got a coffee or a tea or a water, any fruit juice or anything, a nice apple juice or orange juice to start off the day, whatever you've got. No foods. We're fasting now. We're getting back into it. Intermittent fast, no breakfast foods, no crunch wraps in the mornings. We're going straight coffee. I'm going to roll the sleeves up a little bit. I have a feeling I want to be hot once I start drinking this coffee, but I got it here. And I have been waiting 3 weeks to do this one, and I can't wait to do it right now. Rise and grind, everybody. We are back. Cheers to you guys. Let's get it started. The perfect temperature, the perfect taste. Does liquid cocaine count? I mean, that's like kind of the thing you're supposed to do in the morning. It's just Adderall, right? Sort of. All right, folks, we're back. So, here's a weird thing. Not that this is going to be a little inside baseball for you guys. I don't have an overlay. So, shouts to Chris Karen on that one. If you happen to be watching, Chris, and you can pop into this video right now and add that overlay in, I'd be pumped. But I had all these little background screens that I could have used. Interesting. I don't, however, have an overlay. So I think BetMGM is my sponsor. So thank you to BetMGM for being said sponsor. Actually, I got to hit two things before I do that. Well, no, I'm going to hit BetMGM. BetMGM, I'm almost positive is the sponsor. Description of this video. Check it out. I assume there's a deal. I don't know what it is. It's not on my screen. But I'm happy to have them as a sponsor, and I will very much be happy to talk about them in the next day or two. I got to hit this as well. Super chat from Hank the Tank said, I give you a lot of crap, but sorry for your loss. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I give people a lot of crap too. So I'm happy to take it. We can do both. I can give it and I can take it. I'm going to try to give it a little bit less this year. Then we've got Marcus Allen with the super chat. Said, thank you for what you do. Sending all the good energy I can to you, the family, chat, and the entire Stokastic team. Appreciate you, Marcus Allen. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell dropping 71 last night. That it's a shame that that's going to get lost to history, given that NFL game last night. Hopefully everything goes well there, but I'm not confident. But here we go. So this is what we got. We're going super janky for today. You guys get to see basically everything that's on the screen. So let's get the dual windows up. Like I said, I am ill prepared for this in terms of knowing what's going on in the NBA right now. I just don't know. But this is where we find out. So, kicking it off, the Washington Wizards are 8-point underdogs in Milwaukee. 226 total is what I'm seeing right now. The Wizards have a Q tag on Bradley Beal, left hamstring soreness. Bradley Beal has missed the past 3 games, so it does appear that some things never change. Daniel Gafford is off of the injury report. Taj Gibson is questionable. Isaiah Todd and Devin Dotson are both with the G League. So I clearly have to assume that Bradley Beal is playing slightly less than I would ever expect. We're going to kick it off. I assume Monty Morris in out of the gate, point guard minutes. I'm going 28. That's going to allow me to go to 34 on Beal. Rui's been playing out of his mind. Okay, that's a piece of information that I'm getting. I assume I'm looking to give Daniel Gafford some sort of chunk of minutes. You know, we know that we need to go to 30. I'm going to go 34 on Porzingis, I guess. I'll take another sip of coffee, too. Oh, that feels good. That feels good. We got to get Kuzma in for his 35 as well. But now I just got to sort of fill in the blanks here. Porzingis and Gafford have clearly been playing alongside of each other. That's 57 minutes. Now, that is with no Beal. But even on Tuesday the 27th, they played... Is that an OT game? Nope. They played 5 minutes alongside of each other there. I feel like, you know, something in the 22 range for Gafford is going to be the spot. Assuming Beal is back... Like, what was the starting lineup on... Will Barton being totally out of the rotation is just wild to me. So, Tuesday the 27th. If I look at that game... Beal, Kuzma, Gafford, Morris, Porzingis. Beal, Kuzma, Gafford, Morris, Porzingis. Morris, Beal, Kuzma. Okay. You know, I assume they start together, and I don't know. Maybe it's more than 22 for Gafford. Well, it feels about right. I'm gonna go with 22. I'll talk to Adam about it. Lance, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, let's go with 22 to Gafford. I don't really have a great feel for it, if I'm being honest. It seems like he can play sort of any amount of minutes and it would make sense. Now, we also have to give Rui his minutes, which I think are probably going to be, you know, something like 24. Yeah, Rob, I kind of agree. His minutes are so unimportant in the grand scheme of things from like a closing perspective. Because if you want to have Porzingis closing at the 5, like they have Rui or Denny, like they have so many other guys that can fit in that middle section where I don't think Gafford's minutes have to be that solid. I'm going to go to 24. I'm going to go to 24. We'll see what that ends up looking like. Now, the rest of this should be pretty easy to fill out. We got to give minutes to Denny, Kispert, and DeLon Wright. Man, pour one out for Will Barton, though, for real. So I assume DeLon Wright and Monty Morris are essentially playing all of the minutes at point guard and they're splitting them. Yeah, more or less. So I'm going to give DeLon Wright. I don't want to give him 20. I'm going to give him 18. And then that means we have 43 minutes left over for Kispert, for Denny Avdia. And that's it, right? They're running a 9-man rotation. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and give Denny 20? 20? Yeah. 22 feels about right. Maybe 20. And then another 20 for Kispert. And then 3 leftover minutes going to whoever. So we'll go to Will Barton here. Channel was getting stale without me. It felt stale. I honestly, I haven't seen anything. But I hope you guys kept watching everything else that existed. Jokes aside. But I can't deny that I am very, very happy to be back. Now, obviously, this all depends on Beal. Like, if Beal ends up being out, then they're going to go to this 8-man rotation that they've been running. I mean, that they're totally concentrating the rotation. The Wizards will look a lot better here. Ooh, good eye. I would have caught that one pretty easily. Thanks, DP. All right, now let's find out rates. Games where Beal started, Morris started, Porzingis started, Kuzma started. You get Adam and I today. It's going to be good to be back. I'm telling you, man. I've been missing this pretty aggressively. All right, so let's start hitting all of these usage rates. So we got to go Bradley Beal. 613 minutes when those 4 guys are starting. He's got a 26.5% usage rate. Lock that in for 27. SMP, you're good. Throw that shade, man. Kyle Kuzma, a little over 25% usage rate in this spot as well. And then we've got Porzingis at 26. These guys are actually pretty easy to project when everybody's healthy. Monty Morris has very minimal usage. Rui Hachimura has more usage than you would expect. And then Gafford. This is one I have no idea on. Daniel Gafford's played 267 minutes in games where those 4 guys have started. 15.5% usage rate. Sounds good to lock in. Morris was at 14.6. Lock him in at 15. And there we go. Usage rates are in. Now let's check out the assist rates, because that I do have to take a peek at. Beal stays the same. Kuzma, does he have the ball in his hands less? Little bit. Monty Morris, 8.5. A little bit of a bump. Don't have to worry about Rui. And then we'll go to rebounds. And I can zip through this pretty easily. How has Bradley Beal's rebounding been? Oh, good to know. Non-existent. Daniel Gafford. This has been any better? Nope. Oddly enough, significantly worse. Kristaps Porzingis. Actually pulling down some boards. Good for him. Kyle Kuzma. Very active on the boards. Monty Morris. Not the worst rebounder in the world. And then Rui. You doing anything of value? You are. All right. Washington done. Now, if Beal ends up out, we just take the 34 minutes that I gave to Beal and redistribute them to everybody that's already in this game, basically except for DeLon Wright, which is very interesting to see. Now, next up is Milwaukee. By the way, it should be very obvious. I'm just deleting everything that I have for every single team as we work through it. But as we go to Milwaukee, we find out that Drew Holiday is probable. Giannis is probable. George Hill is probable. Chris Middleton is still out for another 2 games. Humboldt, good to have you here. I'm loving this coffee, by the way. Alrighty. This should be very simple because Milwaukee's not doing anything ultra weird. Now, Drew has been out for the past 3 games, so it's possible that they temper the... Ooh, okay. Break time on Milwaukee. 1, hit the like button because that would help me out. But 2, very big friend of the program with the massive super chat. Completely unnecessary, by the way, but thank you. Jorge says, "You are back. Glad to see you back and doing well. Happy New Year. Wishing you all the best for you and your family." Jorge, didn't need to do that, but thank you so much, man. That truly means a lot. Really just happy to see it. Happy to see you, man. Happy to see you. So thank you for that. That's a big one. All right, Drew's missed a couple games. I figure they're probably pretty pessimistic with his minutes. I'm going to go 32 on Drew Holiday. And then I'm going to go pretty standard issue, 29 on Brook Lopez. What other directions do we want to go here? We know that we need to get Grayson Allen in for his 27. We know that we need to get Giannis in for his 36. He has been playing increased minutes as of late. Okay. Wait. Oh, today's Tuesday. It's going to mess with me that I'm starting on a Tuesday. I was like, they're on a back-to-back. No, they're not. Bobby Portis, pretty stable around that 26-minute mark at this point. Javon Carter's minutes are generally a lot. Wow, I didn't know that Middleton was out for like a lot of time, like all of the time that I've been out, basically. So in the games where Drew is active, we were getting about 20 minutes from Javon Carter. We'll take him to 22 just to be safe. I forgot Joe Ingles is a guy that plays again, so let's get to that. Ingles is playing about 18 minutes a game, so that's fine. Pat Connaughton, you never know, I guess. 23, 24. I'll go 23. That leaves me 27 minutes for, I guess, Marshawn Beauchamp and someone else. We'll go ahead and give Beauchamp like 14. Like, none of this is going to really matter all that much. So we'll give Beauchamp those minutes. And then, who am I missing? George Hill? Maybe? No. Man, who am I missing here? Because I think it's gonna be a 10-man rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so they were going 9. And I guess George Hill was just fully out of it. I don't think it's going to be Matthews, but it could be Matthews. I guess I'll just give them to Matthews. It's not really all that important. I mean, no matter what minutes I give Wesley Matthews, it won't matter. I'll talk through that one with Adam as well. This is going to be one where, like, I'm just going to have to reacquire knowledge over the next couple of days because I don't have it. All right. So for Milwaukee, we want games in which Brook Lopez starts, Drew starts, and Giannis starts. And we will say games that Chris Middleton did not play. And we'll get these new rates in. That's a pretty big sample. Giannis has played 600 minutes in this case. So for Giannis, 38.5% usage rate. Whew. Get him up to 38. Clearly looking good. Drew Holiday, 25% usage rate in this area. So that's fine. Brook Lopez is at 17.5. Grayson Allen is at 14. That's oddly low for him. Bobby Portis, 448 minutes when those guys start, 19.5% usage rate. And then I am going to put Javon Carter's in because he was a part of this at the start, but he is at 13. Yeah, so he's not very interesting. Assist rate and rebounding rates will be next. No real changes to the assist rate on Drew Holiday. Javon Carter goes down quite a bit, no surprise. Grayson Allen is fine. Giannis is fine. Brook Lopez is not that kind of guy to begin with. And Bobby Portis has a little bit more than you would expect. And now finally, rebounding rate, Bobby Portis. Actually pulling down massive boards in those situations. Fun to see. Brook Lopez, not, but, you know, he's more of a box-out guy than anything else. Thanks for the kind words, Trash Machine. Sorry that you've been through that. Really difficult to address someone as Trash Machine when there's positive sentiment. I am sorry for you and your family, though. It's tough. It's fucking screen names, man. Giannis rebounding rate looks fine. Grayson Allen rebounding rate is fine. Javon Carter might as well is fine. And then Drew Holiday is fine. So Milwaukee in the books. So we can look at this game. And to kick it all off, I guess I need to do one other thing since I haven't done a contenders video in a minute. Let's go ahead and delete my old data. All right, there we go. Oh. It's a card reference. I don't even know what that means. I know less now than I did before. Okay. For the Bucks, it should come as no surprise that Giannis looks the best. However, 12,100 on DraftKings and 12,300 on FanDuel is a pretty sizable price tag in both directions. Drew, to me, looks like your second best option. I really just don't see a ton of value for the Bucks, which shouldn't be all that surprising. To me, very tough to want to prioritize Brook Lopez, Grayson Allen, Bobby Portis. I really don't enjoy any of... I like playing trash cards when playing poker. There we go. Gotcha. Good luck with that. Don't really like a ton for Milwaukee here in game number 1. And honestly, if Bradley Beal is back for the Wizards, they're not looking so great either. I mean, like, Kuzma's pretty expensive. Beal, I mean, the $8K and $8,200 price tags for Beal look good, but it's not like he's anything other than a 1-ish fantasy point per minute guy. Gafford for 4,300 on DraftKings is probably the most interesting thing on either site. That first game is a trash machine. It's not very good. We move it on to game number 2, which undoubtedly is going to confuse me. And then we all know that the 9 o'clock start of Sacramento, Utah is going to be the one everybody wants. But Boston, the Celtics are 8.5-point favorites in Oklahoma City, 235 total. Now, for the Celts, Q tag on Time Lord, Robert Williams. I assume he's playing. You know, He has missed one game. That was Friday, the 23rd. They're not on a back-to-back, best I could tell. So I think we're going to get whatever a standard rotation is. Oops, that's still Milwaukee. Let's not delete that. That will be very unhelpful. Antonio, I'm glad I'm back too. Let's get Boston into these projections. We'll start it off at center. I think we get 20 minutes out of Time Lord. I'll give the other 28 to Horford. And then it appears that they're playing relatively minimal minutes alongside of each other. But I got Horford in for 28. I just want it to be 29. We're going to go ahead and get Jason Tatum in for 36. We're going to get Jaylen Brown in for 35. We're going to get Marcus Smart. First, we'll get Derek White in for 29. And then we'll get Malcolm Brogdon in for 21, which will then allow me to go Marcus Smart for 32. The rest of this is just sort of going to fall into place, isn't it? We got to go we need minutes for Grant Williams, which is by all accounts going to be 24. And then 14 for Sam Hauser. That, my friends, is a pretty easy way to project Boston. Now, maybe I'm a little healthy on Derek White. Maybe that should be 28. Maybe I should be giving Marcus Smart slightly more, but I'm happy with what I've got here. Now, we need Boston rates, which should also take me very little time. This should be mostly stable. Games where Horford starts, Brown starts, Tatum starts, Smart starts. Yeah, hit that thumbs up, folks. What are we at? Let me look. I haven't looked at all. 126 viewers, 88 likes. That right there is a ratio, folks. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. 32.8% usage for Jason Tatum. And 32 for Jaylen Brown. We'll get those two guys in there. Marcus Smart is at a little over 16. Al Horford is at just under 12. Derek White is at 14.5. I'm a bumpski. Malcolm Brogdon in 424 minutes is at 23.5. And then Time Lord, not that this matters, 92 minutes. Has had the ball a little bit more than you would expect. Not the way that I'm going to handle it, though, but I will give him 13.5. I guess I should technically go to Grant Williams here, but he's already right. So we go to assist rates. We get Al Horford. Oddly lower than I would have expected. Derek, although I guess it sort of makes sense if you think about it. Jaylen Brown's is probably a little bit lower than you would think. I could leave it. Jason Tatum, a little bit lower than you would think. They're all just slightly lower. Like everybody's getting like, ooh, okay, Brogdon's is way lower. Smart's actually a little bit higher. Man, am I going to be playing Marcus Smart tonight? I don't generally like that. And then Time Lord, assist rate doesn't matter. Rebounding rates. Tatum at 9.5. But we'll start with Horford. Horford at 8.5. That makes sense. Probably goes down even more with Time Lord back. Although if they're not playing alongside of each other all that much, who knows? Derek White. Good rebounder. No changes. Jaylen Brown. 7.5. A little bit lower. Jason Tatum. I feel like I'm tweaking Boston a lot here. I've got this feeling that it matters today. Brogdon is at 6. Smart. I thought Smart was a better rebounder. That is not true. Robert Williams. I'm going to leave it. So that's Boston. And now we go to the bane of my existence, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They could have 10 new dudes on their team today, and I wouldn't even know. This is not a team I want to project. Looks like they've kind of established a bit of a rotation, so... All right, well, what do we know here? Oklahoma City Thunder. No Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Obviously, Poku out for a while. Ousmane Dieng, no. Omer Yuri, G League. Lindy Waters, G League. I got to charge my watch again. So let's project the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team I obviously love a ton. Nothing bad ever happens when you got to project the Thunder. So let's start it off. We'll go, 35 minutes for Shea. And 29 for Lou Dort. And 30 for Giddey. Who's been starting? Basketball Reference Thunder. 2023. Starting lineups. Okay, so... Oh, wow. I thought Poku got hurt, like, way further back. Okay, so the past 2 games, they've started the Williami, which is fun. All right, so Jalen Williams with an E gets his 29 minutes. Jalen Williams with the Y is starting and playing an undetermined amount of minutes. We're going to go to 21. Fantastic. I hate this team so much. Trey Mann has played the past 4 games. He's playing about 20 minutes a game. We'll pop him in for 20 there. Kenrich Williams has been stabilized in this rotation to a degree. Plays about 23 minutes a game. I will give him 22. Mike Muscala is playing every day, including slightly more since Poku went down. We're going to go ahead and give him 18 minutes. And now we need Isaiah Joe and Baisley. That appears to be the final 2 guys in the 10. I guess it, in theory, could be Aaron Wiggins. I don't know what they're doing there, but this should be 10 dudes. And it is. Okay, so I have 36 minutes to go between Baisley and Joe. And I'm going to go 16 apiece. So Isaiah Joe is going to get these 16 here. And then Baisley is going to get 16 right here. I did bad math somewhere. Did I not give someone the minutes I wanted to give them? 22 here, 30 for... I'm okay with 30 for Giddey. I'm going to go 31 to Giddey. Still had 3 left over. They can go to, I don't care who. Lindy Waters gets them, even though he's not available. Well, that's, hold on, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So who didn't I project? Giddey, SGA, Dort, Jalen Williams is 4. Trey Mann is 5. Kenrich 6. Oh, Aaron Wiggins. Okay, so I guess one of Wiggins or... They've got 11 bodies and they play 10 of them. Good to know. Now, let us grab rates for this team. I'm sure this is fun. By the way, tomorrow, I assume there's a shit ton. How many games are there tomorrow? 12 games tomorrow. Buckle up. We're going to be here for 2 hours. I might have to do a little bit of prep tomorrow before we start the show. Otherwise, I'm just because of the way that I have to go through each team, I might have to like half prep tomorrow. All right, Oklahoma City in games where SGA, Dort, power forward Jalen Williams, and Josh Giddey all started. We're definitely going until 8 tomorrow. Hell, we might go till 8 today at this rate, but I might have to just go ahead and get like I don't know, everything. It's not that I don't want to do that while I'm on the show, but I need to make sure that I can get out of here fast enough to do contenders and then be ready for the strategy show. If I didn't have to do contenders after this, then I would just let this show go all the way to 9 o'clock on like a 12 gamer and not even bat an eye. All right. SGA usage rate when he, Dort, Jalen Williams, and Giddey all start 32.4%. Dort is at 19.7. We'll leave that in at 20. Giddey is at 23.5. I'll let him stick. And then Jalen Williams, 450 minutes, 16.8. Take that to 17. Fair enough. Man, I hate this team so much. Other than the fact that I really like Shea and I like Dort. I mean, S&P, I think you keep firing these bullets. You got to be willing to cut bait when you don't think that some of these guys are real. But like, Jalen Williams looks okay. You get, if Chet lives up to sort of any part of where you want him to be, then, you get this Shea Chet thing for next year. You're hoping to get something decent this year. You've got a bunch of additional bullets moving forward that can be lottery picks as you climb. But eventually, I think they just make a consolidation trade. It doesn't seem like a Trae Young destination, but like they could obviously go and get him. But I think that they're just set up to go and get someone like that in the future. Someone will inevitably get unhappy, and at some point, Oklahoma City is going to have to like fire that off. All right, Shea assist rate a little bit lower. Lou Dort, no real assist rate. Josh Giddey. Jalen Williams, way lower. Like, just having Shea is so massive. It doesn't take much. All right, rebounding rate, and then we're good on OKC, and we can take a look at game number 2. I can't wait to run a crunch. I feel like I haven't done that in forever, too. Jalen Williams, 5.5. That'll work. Giddey, 9.5. Much lower. Lou Dort. They should have to fight for the last name. Or the first name, I guess. Either way. Lou Dort, not a rebounding guy. Shea, much more of a rebounding guy. All right. All right, Hannah, in my opinion, who would be able to put Oklahoma City over the top with SGA? I mean, anybody that comes up that needs a trade, like, you just kind of got to think about it in terms of like who could be on the move. Like, I'm just going to read down the list of EPM right now. It's not Luka, Jokic, Curry, AD. Joel Embiid wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world if eventually Philly just keeps screwing up. I don't think that's the case, but like they'd have enough in the coffers to do it. No Durant, No Dame, no Tatum, no Jaren Jackson, Markkanen, Harden, Butler, George. SGA's there. Mitchell's traded. Tyrese Halliburton's traded. It's not Giannis, Porzingis, Zion, Ja, LeBron, Sabonis. I don't think he would ever want to go there because of the market, but like Devin Booker would be somebody that'd be very interesting if he gets fed up with Philly or with Phoenix. I assume the Celtics are just going to keep Jaylen Brown around forever, but he would obviously be exceptional in that sort of spot. You know, like I think it'd be really good for them to go out to take a run at somebody like OG Anunoby, who might not necessarily be that second banana, but can clearly be an essential piece of a starting five on a championship team. So maybe you have to like look at it in a slightly different lens. You know, maybe Memphis can't pay Desmond Bane in a year and he needs to get out. Now we're starting to get into an area where it looks a little bit bleaker. I mean, Towns is like a legitimate answer, but I don't think that helps. Yeah, S&P. I think you do that in a heartbeat, depending on how much more you got to give. All right. Anyway, back to breaking this one down. As much as I want to wax random trades, SGA looks really good to me at 10-3 on DK and 10-4 on FanDuel. He's got the MPE on FanDuel as well. I think Josh Giddey is actually the second best option, particularly on DraftKings. Maybe I just have Giddey over projected slightly here. Something that I'll dig into a little bit later, but I think Giddey looks good today on DK. 6,700. I like that price tag. I might have him slightly over projected. I'm not going to lie. In fact, I certainly do, and I don't know why. Why do I have him projected to be as good of a shooter as I do? It's been a little bit better as of late. I'm going to dig into that one. I kind of like Josh Giddey today. More so on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I'm not as interested. Jeremy, Crispy, what's going on? Good to have you guys here. If you want to go to Williams or Dort, that's fine. Otherwise, you're just really rolling the dice in a scary manner. For Boston... Wow, okay. So I was right to like sort of like Boston. Look at all that green. It's not that any one individual stands out, but like they all look better than everybody else. Tatum, Brown, Smart, Horford, Derek White, Time Lord for 4,200. Like they all look pretty solid. Grant Williams, not a guy that I really want to go to. You can see where the upside could get you on Brogdon, but like rotating through the Boston guys, I think Boston could have like the most aggregate ownership of any team for me without any one guy being the guy that I try to get to. Tupelo Joe, I don't wish we had a 10-gamer back. We needed a 3-gamer for me to get my sea legs. Tomorrow's 12. You'll get your wish. All right, final two games, or final two teams. Sacramento, 2.5-point dogs in Utah, 242 total. That's the biggest total by 7 points as of right now, and 16 more than the other game. For Sacramento, Q-tag on Herder, Q-tag on Malik Monk. Both guys played on Sunday, so I'm assuming we're getting a standard Sacramento rotation here. So let's just do what we normally need to do. 35 minutes for De'Aaron Fox. Easy. We're going to go ahead and get Kevin Herder in for 30. We're going to go ahead and get Domantas Sabonis in for 36. We'll get Keegan Murray in for 28. We'll get Harry Barnes in for 31. The rest of this should be pretty easy. Rashawn Holmes is back as the backup center. Nice to see. Gives him 12 minutes. We get Trey Lyles in for the backup run. We'll give him 18. Davion Mitchell gets some backup point guard run, plus a little extra. Gets down to 18. Malik Monk plays about 24 minutes a game. Dude scares me. Who knows? And that leaves me 8 additional minutes for random person number who. It's just spillover, right? I'll split it between KZ Akpala and Terrence Davis. Very easy rotation for Sacramento, obviously. And this should also be pretty easy to break down from a rates perspective. Now, I know Sabonis has a thumb now. I don't know how much that's going to be impacting him moving forward, but let's just go. I mean, we know the starting lineup here. So Barnes, Sabonis, Fox, Herter, Murray. When we have that starting lineup, it's got to be a lot of games at this point, right? When those 5 guys start, they've played 26 games. Yeah, that's a massive sample. So Sabonis, little over 20% usage rate here. Kind of crazy to think about. Fox is at 27.8, so I'll lock him into 28. Harry B, 17.6, so he's just the same guy all the time. Keegan Murray is at 17.4. Man, there aren't a lot of things I'm right about, but boy, oh boy, did I nail how ridiculous those Keegan Murray projections were at the beginning of the year. Made no sense. No sense. All right, Kevin Herter. Fine. Malik Monk. 26.2% usage rate with those guys starting. Sounds good to me. Now we go to assist rates. De'Aaron Fox, obviously, massive assist rate. Not as big as Sabonis, though, which is kind of crazy to think about. Sabonis is just way higher. Harry B, not exactly high. The Barnacle of the Bay. Kevin Herter is the same. Malik Monk. Massive assist rate on the bench here for these guys. Interesting to see. He's probably going to project pretty well today. And finally, we hit the rebound. Haywood, thank you so much. Glad to see you. Fox rebounding 6. This I feel like is just not going to change. Sabonis actually might be interesting. Yeah, a little bit higher. Barnacle of the Bay 6'4", good. Keegan 4'7", good. Herter 4'4", good enough. Malik Monk rebounder now too, close enough. All right, Sacramento in the books. Final team for today. God, it's been good to be back. Utah Jazz. Another team that I just have no idea what's been happening here for Utah. All right, so for the Jazz, okay, at least the Jazz, even with me gone, are still the Jazz. Like, they're not doing anything different. I greatly, greatly appreciate them for this. Just let me know that nothing else is going on weird. All right, no Colin Sexton. He must have got injured on Saturday, so this should be pretty easy to manage. Sexton was coming off the bench anyway, so I assume that we're just going to get like Nickeil Alexander-Walker stepping into some of those minutes again, maybe Fontecchio. They certainly put a pin in that Talen Horton-Tucker shit. All right. Kelly Olynyk, after missing 4 games, not really. She's just out there playing. Feels like 29 minutes is correct for Olynyk. Walker Kessler's been playing about 25 a game. I'm going to go 24 here. Kessler and Vanderbilt still like basically splitting it. Yeah, they are. 60 there, but that had no Olynyk. So I guess I'm just going to move those 29 there. If I give Kessler 24, I'm going to give Vanderbilt 24. That gives me 29 for Olynyk. We're going to get Mike Conley in for his pretty standard issue 30. And then Clarkson goes in for, I guess I'll say 33. And we got to get Markkanen in for, I'm going to go 34 on Markkanen. I'm going to be a little bit lighter on these minutes moving forward, I think. Although, you know what? Yeah, I feel fine with that. So now we still need Beasley, Gay. We'll go 15 to Gay. That leaves me 51 minutes for Beasley. And then whatever I determine is Colin Sexton's replacement. So let's get Beasley in for... Actually, how many minutes? It's just going to throw things off. That's 8. I mean, assuming Beasley's just coming back off the bench, how often does Beasley close? NBA rotations, Utah Jazz, Malik Beasley. Not ultra frequently, but certainly possible. So Beasley's been playing 24 minutes a game, and that seems about right. With Sexton out, I'm going to make it 26. That leaves me 25 minutes, which is essentially Colin Sexton's minutes. And I think that's going to go to mostly Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So I'm going to go 16 to Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then it's either Fontecchio or Horton Tucker. I'll say it's Fontecchio. I don't think it's going to matter. Now we grab rates. So we're going to say for Utah, in games that Conley, Clarkson, Olynyk, and Markkanen all started, that's still what's happening, right? Yes, on Olynyk, obviously everybody else. And then I want to add a filter of Colin Sexton off. That should nerf it's gonna nerf a lot, but I don't know if it's gonna be that bad. Hannah, Colin Sexton's out. So let's look first at, all right, Jared Vanderbilt, 13% usage rate. That's easy. Clarkson is at 25.8. Kelly Olynyk is at 19. Markkanen is at 25. Beasley is at 23. Conley 16.3. We'll go to 17 on Conley. And then Walker Kessler, clearly no real usage rate. He's at 12. Make it 12.5. All right. That piece is easy. Assist rate is basically just Mike Conley and then the rest of the team. Jared Vanderbilt, not an assist. Much more of an assist guy than I actually thought he was. Holy hell. All right, we'll bump that up. Clarkson's right where he needs to be. Kelly Olynyk, I thought would have been a little bit higher, but isn't. Markkanen, not that guy. They should trade Lauri Markkanen. I'm saying this right now. If I'm Danny Ainge, I ship him out. Cash in. Cash in now. His value will never be higher. Bump up Conley. I'm going to end up getting Mike Conley. I hate getting Mike Conley. All right, rebounding rate, and then we're done. David, I appreciate that. Sorry for you as well. That had to be hard for you at the time, man. I know how hard it was for me at 37. So at 12, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. All right, Vanderbilt, rebound rate. Miggity massive. Mike, thank you. Thank you for popping in. We're back. We're better than ever. Gonna try to take a vacation during the All-Star break, but that won't affect you guys. But I am here and I am ready to go. Oh, by the way, one thing that I didn't say earlier, and I know that it'll be important to a lot of you guys, and shouldn't come as any real surprise here, but I felt bad not really having lots of updates throughout the day for contenders and like my updated thoughts and my updated plays. I either just was in no position to be able to do it when I was traveling, or just life sucked and I didn't really care to just be on the computer and worry about it. I just like, I haven't tweeted much for basically a year. That's going to change starting right now. Like, I'm going to have thoughts for news when it's popping up. I'll have updates to contenders every single day now. At the very least, the days that I'm 100% playing. Like tomorrow night, I'll be on live before lock. I don't know what kind of updates I'll have. Maybe I'll have them earlier on in the day. But moving forward, I'm just going to be cranking out content. Like I'm so happy to be back, and at least for right now, into a normalized piece of life where I don't have a giant black cloud hanging over me. So I would like to get back to giving you guys the goods on a day-to-day basis. So keep your eyes peeled to Twitter at Josh Engleman. People were asking, and it was just like, it was really hard to just be like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that because my life sucks. But that was really the truth of the matter. Like, I just didn't have the energy to want to do it. Hannah, you're going to get one tonight, I promise. This is the good vibes crew for today. All right, we're ready here. Let's look at the final two teams. Let's save this workbook. All right, the Jazz look great. Kelly Olynyk, 5,200 on DraftKings. Probably the best play that we've looked at so far. But Markkanen looks great. These are all DK things. Markkanen looks great. Conley looks great. Beasley, Clarkson, Vanderbilt, Kessler. You can get to everything from Utah. Don't forget, this game has a massive total. This is an all-offense affair. It's going to be very popular, so be aware of that. On the FanDuel side, the pricing's a little tighter, but like it still looks solid enough. And then on the Sacramento side, $4,700 Monk on FanDuel looks great. Toasted Biscuits, welcome back. And what's up to everybody that's here? Sure. Sabonis, Fox, Barnes all look solid. Herder 5,500 is probably the biggest tough sell here for me. I think Monk on the DK side, probably the best value option that we have. But let's just get into it and let's run some crunches, folks. That's what we're here for, right? Let's get it going. I don't even remember how to run crunches. That's Twitter. Where'd my Excel workbook go? Where'd my mouse pointer go? All right, there we go. Let's move this down here. All right, first and foremost, we're going to hit FanDuel Optimals. First Optimals in like 3 weeks, folks. Here we go. And I don't have a clue where this is going to end up. So First up, 290.23. This is the optimal by 1.05. It's rare that you see the optimal be more than a point, but yet here we are. Mike Conley, Derek White, Malik Monk, Marcus Smart, Malik Beasley, Jaylen Brown, Jared Vanderbilt, Giannis, and Walker Kessler. So we find enough value to get to Giannis. We run a 4-man Jazz stack, 3 Celtics, which I didn't totally expect, but I guess is there. Jaylen Brown at 9,200. I don't love that lineup. Makes me feel like this is going to be a pretty tough slate. And now we hit up the power rankings. What do we got? Here we go. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. Power rankings. Ugh. Mike Conley. Has he scored like 35 recently? Sort of. 31, 41. Those 2 games would be relevant enough in this scenario. And those are shitty. There's a 2 of 11, a 4 of 11. Get some of these defensive stats. Okay. Not what I wanted, but we're here. Oh, why did I run 250? That should be 500. See if Conley. Nah, he's not gonna. He might cement himself even more here. Okay, Markkanen might be running him down. No, it's gonna be Conley. Okay, so power rankings on FanDuel. Mike Conley, Derek White, Malik Beasley, Marcus Smart, Lauri Markkanen are the guys that I have in the top 5. Giannis, Kelly Olynyk, Malik Monk, Jaylen Brown, and Shea round out the bottom of the top 10. That is wildly unappealing. Now, for DraftKings. DraftKings Optimal. We have 271.38. This is the optimal by 0.42. Josh Giddey, Malik Monk, Malik Beasley, corner in the market on the Maliks. Giannis, Daniel Gafford, Mike Conley, Kelly Olynyk, Jordan Clarkson. So we're getting to a lot of that Utah team once again. Look, Colin Sexton leaves 22 to 24 minutes and like 25% usage on the table. It's just going to bump everybody up when you don't have that pricing ready for it. I don't mind that lineup at all. Like, no, I don't love the Gafford piece, but there's clearly some upside. You can get to Giannis, so there's enough general value out there. And I think in GPPs, you'll have the ability to pivot to one of the other pay-up options, like if that's Sabonis or Tatum or Porzingis or something. And now we go to power rankings. The final thing that we need to do for today before we get out of here. Power rankings on DraftKings. And it's looking like Josh Giddey is going to be the guy for everyone, which is definitely a thing because he is not a favorite of mine. I am not a Josh Giddey believer. Josh Giddey is your number 1 contender for today. Giannis at 2. Then we get a pack of Jazz. Kelly Olynyk, Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, Lauri Markkanen. That's 6. So Monk, Keegan Murray, SGA, and Jaylen Brown round out the bottom of my top 10. Folks, we made it. We're here. After an hour and 20 minutes on a 3-gamer, we are back doing it again. I could not be happier to be back. My voice feels well rested. I don't feel well rested. I got 4.5 hours of sleep last night. Not enough. There's a nap in my future, that's for sure, and I can't wait to get it. But contenders videos will be out in a little bit. Strategy show with Adam at 10 a.m. Cannot wait for that to happen again. I am just more than a little bit excited to talk about basketball. I have missed it very, very much. We're going to grind hard all the way up to the playoffs and then into the playoffs. Who knows what we're going to be doing at that point in time. Thank you guys for joining me for today. It means the world to be back. Again, thank you for all the kind words over the past couple weeks. Oh, there's my computer changing from night mode to day mode, which made me think that I crashed the entire stream, but that's all we got, folks. I'm out of here. We're back again tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time for the process. You know where we are every single day. It's back. Keep your eyes peeled for the rest of the content. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Thank you to BetMGM for sponsoring. We'll handle that tomorrow. Good luck, everybody. I'm on everything tonight, by the way. Deeper dive tonight as well. So you're getting me all day. Late start, 8 p.m. lock. That's it. I'm not rambling any longer. This was the process.